Guys, welcome back to Pass the Aisle. It's
Welcome back.
another Thursday,
Welcome back.
and this is our, I would say, second to last week of May. So May is pretty short.
Well,
of a
we
month.
missed the show last
Oh yeah, we
week.
did miss the show. We were on vacay. But yeah, there's a lot of things to kind of share today.
Yeah.
And yeah, where should
cool.
we start? Let's start. How was your experience with last week staying in Laguna?
Laguna. Yeah. Okay, cool. So we have this cool thing where we have this little camera now. Okay. So it was good. So I booked this thing like last minute, and then I was telling you some deals while you were working on a wedding, and I just really wanted to go away, like to go away with you. And then I found a deal on hotels.com or whatever, and I was like kind of okay and sure about it, and the reviews were like okay, whatever.
Yeah.
But as we found out, like it's really like
if you thought it was an okay review, it was an okay stay.
It was an okay stay. Yeah.
It really matched.
I mean, well, me being me, I'm trying to look at the bigger picture. I was trying to look at the bigger picture, but for me, it was not. It would be less than okay.
Yeah.
But I would say if I'm looking at the whole package, right, and
Yeah.
with you included in how you were able to enjoy as well,
Yeah.
then I think it's okay. But if it was just me and I'm reviewing it just personally, I'd say it's like a 4.
It's less than a 4. It's not a 4-star hotel.
No, 4 like on a scale of 1 to 10. Just
okay,
because
yeah,
the two major
definitely a 4.
things, the two major things for me when I go on vacation is good bed and good pillows and everything, and
probably good insulation.
Hot shower. Oh yeah, and insulation. Is it quiet? Because I want to sleep.
Yeah, this is definitely more like a one level up to a hostel. But even hostels are quiet. This one you can hear, like when someone turns on the shower.
You can hear everything.
And then you can hear the water running through the pipes. So I was like, dang,
it's old.
It's super old.
So it was a historic building. I thought it'd be tight because the thing that drew me to it was the Spanish style, right? And I'm thinking, I know it's not going to be epic.
They always show the high-end rooms.
No, we got one. We got the one that shows in the picture. It's exactly the way it's shown.
It is. Okay.
In the picture.
It just looks larger in photos.
Yeah.
They always do that.
As always.
Yeah.
But you can never see what kind of bed that they use. Or if you're smart, you'll look for information like that. Like when we stayed in Vancouver, and it was the best bed ever.
Yeah. Because
and people were saying that they would buy the bed.
Yeah, you can buy the bed that they customize because it's custom by the hotel, right?
Yeah. And
that bed was probably the best bed we ever slept
on. Yeah. So once you get spoiled, you don't want to go back. So this bed, you could feel every single spring, and like you just nudge it a little bit and it creaks, and
it was different.
I was like, whatever.
But for the most part, we weren't in the hotel throughout the trip.
I wanted to be in the hotel. But
and the weather was
good.
It was a nice weather.
Yeah.
Everything was walking distant.
Yeah.
Yeah, and we were able to allow you to go fishing in multiple areas.
But you can't fish anywhere, we found out, in Laguna Beach because it's a protected marine cove or whatever.
Yeah, that was recently enforced in 2012, which is great because of just to prevent overfishing, as well as the ecosystem of when you lose a line, people will leave their lines there, and then the fish gets caught in it, or people are swimming, and if your hooks are like just you lose a hook, someone's gonna step on it. So it's very dangerous, especially.
It is very dangerous.
How popular Laguna is.
I actually lost a hook out there, but fortunately I pulled it out of the ocean, and it's in this huge pile of algae that you can't really untangle. So I was like, I think it's okay. But for the most part, I try to, like, if ever I cut a line or I reline my setup, I just put it in my little bucket, and I have everything contained in that bucket. But it felt so good to come back out and fish again, because we used to do it a lot back in 2012 ish.
Yeah, I mean, we used to go out to Newport.
10 to 12. We were fishing a lot.
Yeah, we were going out to Newport, and then yeah, that was my first time surf fishing because you will always wake up in the morning and go with your dad.
Yeah.
So I just wasn't a morning person, and
Yeah.
during that time I was figuring out
I'm
like,
not anymore too. I won't
yeah.
do that anymore.
With
It's too
nursing
hard.
and all that. I was like, no more. I need my sleep.
Yeah,
But yeah. Nowadays, like you can surf any. I mean, you can surf fish anytime you want.
I guess.
Yeah.
Yeah. I think it was really nice. It was just like also too the oceans are being rehabilitated, I think,
Yeah.
basically. Like before we used to go after 2012, after the Fukushima thing, there was just nothing.
Well, there was nothing from
nothing.
the pier, I would say.
Nothing from the pier, nothing from the shore.
Well, you didn't surf from the shore ever.
I did. I went with my family, and we're like, man,
Oh, really?
it's slim pickings. Whereas
Okay.
before, you could really cast out, and if you had live bait or raw bait, you'd get something.
Yeah.
But then from then on, it was really tough, and you would just hear it too, like in the speak, like so we just stopped fishing. So to go back now, and I was out there, I was just fishing by myself. I was like, man, I miss this. Yeah, it was cool, and I was so relaxed. I could see you over there on your paddleboard.
I do. Yeah, I do miss the ocean.
Yeah.
Like
stayed
when
away for a
when I
while.
spoke to Thomas yesterday, our friend Thomas, he's like, yeah, the ocean is healing, and I was like,
See?
yeah, it's very healing.
Yeah.
It's just allows your mind to like just relax from
Hmm.
your world.
Yeah.
When you're going through traffic, you're on your phone, you're on your computer.
Yeah.
Out there, you're just
You're just
hearing
with
the sound of the
nature.
waves, right?
The sound of
Yeah.
the waves was so nice.
Yeah.
And it flushes everything out. It's kind of like when you work out
Yeah.
and you're doing something hard, or when I'm doing yoga and I'm doing a hard move, and you have to do it. So before getting into that exact move, you're thinking about what you're going to do, what
Yeah.
just happened, what you got to do, all this stuff. But when you're doing something that's like kind of hard and it flushes all that shit out, you're like, oh, I'm here, I'm present, and
Yeah.
I'm like, I can focus on this. And that's what I think the ocean does. It's so big and encompassing, and it's huge, and it's loud too, but in a nice way. It like flushes all that out, where you could just be like
Yeah.
present. It's like really healing. Yeah,
But
for
for
sure.
the most part, when we were talking, like,
With
okay,
Tom?
let's no, just me and you.
Mm.
We're like, hey, so how would it feel to live near the ocean?
Oh yeah.
Yeah. And after
Yes.
like almost a week there,
Yeah.
it's definitely something that we want.
Yeah, I think we
Yeah.
always fantasized about it, but then we were really starting to think about it. It's like, this is not. It doesn't have to be a fantasy, actually. And you're always good with the numbers, and you're like, dude, we could actually do it. And I was like, don't play, but if we're going, like, hell yeah.
We never play, but I would say
you play all the time.
I know it's possible.
Yeah, for sure. When you
it's-
told me the number, I was
yeah.
like, dude, that's
I showed you like what I found. I was
Yeah.
like, it's possible.
it's so possible.
Yeah.
I was like, let's go. I'm down.
And I was telling the dude that I bought the board from.
Yeah.
His name is Arturo.
Mhm.
Super nice guy. He's been surfing since like the '60s, and
Mhm.
yeah. But he was saying like, yeah, he lives down the street. He goes like anytime he wants.
I know.
Yeah.
That must be nice.
But
Yeah.
having what I found was $1,000 rent. And I was like,
Let's go.
let's
We don't need all this, you know. It's
yeah, you
just,
can leave. We can leave all of our stuff here.
Yeah.
And take our essentials, and just have a summer out there.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Or whatever, you know.
Yeah.
Like because you're renting, it's just like, and we don't have any what do you call it? Commitments
Yeah.
to this place, so we don't have children, we don't have pets, we don't have nothing, so we
Yeah.
can really just go.
Yeah.
The only thing that's really stopping is like my anxiety and like maybe some of my travel issues and stuff like that. Like for us to really travel and stuff, like, because I know you want to get out and travel. That's not really my thing.
Well, I
And
can't travel right now. I just like to stick to
No, I
one
think-
ocean.
in general, you like traveling.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, you like traveling in general, but I usually don't. But I would love to be at the beach, because I think
Mhm.
that too also heals my anxiety. If I can be present, then I'm not anxious.
I would say as long as like since we first dated, we always been beach goers.
Yeah.
Yeah, and then it just became so busy that we haven't touched the beach.
We haven't gone in
Or-
so long.
Yeah, it's just because we haven't found a system back in the day, and now that we're slowly getting familiar with the system,
Yeah.
things are falling into its own place,
Ugh.
and it will fall even further once everyone knows their own place. And,
Yeah.
the schedule will work out.
Yeah.
But it's possible. We'll think about the numbers further, and
Now's the time.
It-
Well, I guess when it gets hot, then you'll
Yeah.
really start to be like, well, you got to get out of here.
yeah,
But so we'll see. So we had stick a pin in that. But to know it's possible is a nice
Yeah.
feeling.
I know it won't happen within this year, but definitely it's a goal that is reachable
Mhm.
probably in 2 years from now.
Why is it not possible this year? Is it because you want to stay for like 6 months?
I just want to focus. Like it's the same thing.
Oh yeah.
Like I don't
yeah.
want anything.
We're supposed to just do one thing
yeah,
this year.
I don't want
Yeah.
anything to, like interrupt
Right.
like my train of thought or,
Right.
or patterns of working. Yeah, I picked up a new hobby, which is paddleboarding.
Mhm.
And then after paddleboarding, I picked up another hobby in paddleboarding, which is paddle surfing.
Okay.
And I think that's cool. It frees up my mind, so
Mhm.
when I do go photograph, I'm more creative. I think of new things.
Yeah.
Yeah,
I think it's good too. Like it will just calm your ass
Yeah.
down because you have a lot of energy, so you
Yeah.
need to expel it. It's like if you don't walk your dog or whatever, like if you don't expel that energy, it gets pent up,
yeah,
and you don't know how it can like manifest. Like me too. Like if I don't exercise, I realize that I got that restless leg thing
Yeah.
coming back again. I'm like, oh God, I don't like this feeling because the whole time we were at the beach or whatever during our vacation, I didn't really feel motivated to work out because
Mhm.
I was like, bleh. And then I wasn't feeling the room too,
yeah,
and I wasn't energized from sleeping because it was a really crappy bed.
Yeah.
But then I started getting that restless leg syndrome stuff.
yeah. I got that the other day.
Yeah,
and
so I was like, I gotta like move my body.
you
So,
have to definitely do some sort of activity
Yeah,
every day to not get that.
right. So I just killed my legs last night. Just squatted like crazy with that bar that nobody uses. I was like, I'm gonna just use this.
Oh, the
bar.
black one?
No, the metal one. It's
Oh,
got
no.
some weight to it. It's
Oh,
like
I use that.
it's probably like 15 pounds.
Just for lat pulls.
Yeah, yeah. But
But
I
you
just
use it for your legs?
but now I squat with it
Oh, okay.
because it puts some weight on me. But it's not too heavy.
It's not heavy.
Yeah,
Like,
it's not like 45 pounds. Right?
yeah.
So and it's manageable. So I was like, oh sweet.
It's a heavy lat pull bar.
It's a heavy lat pull bar.
I was
I was
like-
like, dang.
Yeah,
So
when
did
I
all kinds
use
of shit
it,
with it.
when I use it, I have
Yeah.
to add more weight because it's a heavy ass. Like I wish
Yeah,
it
it'll
was
like cool
light.
it down, right?
Yeah, I wish it was lighter.
Yeah. So
So,
I like it because I
yeah.
can. It's like double purpose.
Man, these equipments are so expensive.
Just stop now. You got
Yeah,
it. You got
yeah.
everything. Now you moved on to a new thing that costs a lot of money. But good, thank God, like you're getting used stuff, and you're like it's getting into your brain that you don't need to get the best thing.
Yeah, of course. Especially, I already knew that in surfing. I mean, all my boards are used. They're not like brand new or anything.
Yeah. But you just have.
But
a
you need
tendency
a
of
new
getting...
wetsuit because you don't want previous owner's wetsuit that pissed in it. So
Ew! Why would you? It's like
people
underwear.
do that. Yeah, people do that.
Gross. I think
Yeah.
they don't care. They're
Yeah.
just like, whatever. I'm going in the ocean.
Yeah.
For crying out loud. Yeah, they don't give a fuck.
But never buy used wetsuit.
Gross. Yeah, you already got your wetsuit. It's expensive. It's expensive
But
hobby.
it does keep you. I think every hobby is expensive.
Speaking of which, yeah.
Yeah, no matter what you're going to get into.
Yeah, if you really
it's-
care.
Yeah.
You know, if you really care about what you're doing. I just made a review on my coffee roaster. And I went through the whole fucking thing, you know. And I was like, dang, this thing is expensive, dude. And it's not
Yeah.
and it's flawed still, right?
Mhm.
Like it's flawed and it's kind of a big deal and it's still really expensive.
Yeah.
So I don't know, but
It's a continuous expense if you kind of think about it.
oh yeah, I mean you gotta get the
because-
beans,
Because you gotta get the beans, you gotta roast, but
you
at
gotta
least
maintain.
yeah, you gotta maintain. I would say it's the same thing for everything. Like
Yeah.
our cameras, we gotta maintain them.
Yeah, what are you gonna do? Not spend like money's meant to be spent.
Yeah.
You know, it's a tool.
Like we always say, life is experiences. So just have a good experience and have fun.
Yes,
Yeah.
but not at the cost of being rational or practical.
Yeah.
Like, you got to be able to afford it. I'm always like that with you because I
Yeah.
know you're a big spender sometimes. It's like, just be practical with it. Like,
Mhm.
You know, like
Yeah,
and
it
then
came down to my senses.
I gave you a big stink about like, you know, every time I wanted to get something,
Yeah.
and I think you finally realized it, or maybe it just takes some reminding again. Like when it's your hobby or it's your passion, like there's no limit,
Yeah.
right? And then I would feel on my end, it's like there's never a limit to what you want to do, but if I
Mhm.
want to do something, like, so the feeling of being unfair, and like in marriage, you know, let's bring it back to marriage. It's like, well, it's not about being 50-50.
Yeah.
Because I kind of felt that from you after you're like, oh, let me go buy you something because I'm buying myself. I was like, here we go again. Like, this is what you do. B.
Yeah.
So I was like, I know you're just trying to like show me that you heard what I'm saying,
Yeah.
and that you felt kind of bad for like maybe imposing sometimes that, like if I ask for something, I want to buy something, you're like, no, I don't get that because
Yeah.
it's too expensive. And I'll be like, what the fuck? But I'm like, and then I don't really give any pushback before. But then if it's something that you want, I won't stop hearing it. I'm just like, I don't care. Go get it, you know? And I'm like, wait a second. That's not really fair or nice if like say if I'm very passionate about something and I want something.
Mhm.
But if you turned it down, then that would be the end of it.
Yeah.
So I was like, I kind of felt you felt bad. You're like, let's go buy you a fishing rod or whatever. I was like, I don't. And then when we got there, I was like, this is so stupid. You know, I'm playing into our pattern.
Yeah.
So I just wanted to interrupt that and say, I don't need it. It's okay. Like, go get your surf paddle, whatever. Like,
Yeah.
it's not about tit for tat I think with marriage, and for me, of course, and for us, that's our tendency, like, to be like, well, how do I make up for it? Oh,
Yeah.
let me go buy her something real quick. Like, and I always tell you, like, you cannot buy me.
Yeah.
You know, as great you're a gift giver. That's your love language. I understand that, and like I receive it. I'm like, that's great, thank you. Like, you bought me this hat today because I know you're thinking about me and maybe something deep inside because you feel bad that you're buying something new and stuff. You're like, I'm gonna just get something for Chi. But
I just want to support
I
her
appreciate
brand as well.
because that happens. It just happens. Like, you feel bad for some reason, so you shouldn't feel bad about buying things that, you know, that we agreed is okay, cool. Like, I can see you're really passionate about it, and you're gonna do something productive with it. It's not a waste because, like you said, it's an experience, and you're not buying just to buy. You're buying this experience too. And I see the bigger picture too, which is like, you're gonna free your mind and you're gonna get out of the house and relax. And I want you to be relaxed and all that stuff. But yeah, you don't need to do that.
Yeah.
If you want to
I
give me
already
a gift,
realize that.
just, you know, not because out of guilt, you know, or if you're thinking of me, that's really nice. Yeah, I like that.
Yeah.
But not because you felt bad or something, because then it doesn't. I see that right away.
I already saw it.
I don't need
I already saw it when we were at the store at Bass Pro Shop.
No, because I made it really clear. I was like, I don't need this.
Yeah.
So why am I gonna play into this? And if I'm gonna receive your love, basically, like that's your love language, to say I hear what you're saying, I'll just receive it. I don't need to receive a gift along with it. So I think if I were to accept that fishing rod from you, that would be me continuing that cycle and telling you indirectly, oh, you need to buy me a gift when you feel bad. No, you don't need to. You know, that's just something that some people do, and that's fine. But I don't want that to be the reason. Like, if you heard me and you heard what I'm saying, you get what I'm saying, then I should just be able to see that. Yeah. Like, not with money. Like, you don't have to buy that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I understand.
Does that make sense?
Yeah.
Well, I'm not only saying, like, if I don't be like clear, like, people who are watching, like, what the hell are you talking about? So I just want to illustrate.
Yeah.
Like, I just want to be clear what I'm saying. So, and it's good for me too to be clear. What else happened this week?
I don't know. This week is it just kind of rolled over from the vacay. So really, it was just mainly just catching up. Monday was just catching up, and Tuesday I went shooting. Oh yeah, congratulations to our oh shoot, man. Man, I'm stuck today. There's just so many things going on.
You're really excited to talk about the paddleboard, huh?
No, I mean, and that, but yeah, congratulations to our loyal clients, Juhi and Sudi, on having their second kid.
Yeah, and thank you for supporting us for so long and always,
Yeah.
calling up Kevin to go shoot your next kid.
Yeah, and family
And
photos,
family photo, like
and
everything,
your entire
and
family.
Kanchan and
Yeah,
Rob, yeah.
yeah, and their entire family has been supporting us and always like following what we're photographing. It's pretty cool.
They've seen us through many generations actually, if they've been paying
Yeah.
attention, but to let them know, like on our side of things, like when they started to work with us or hired us, I was still shooting at the time, right?
Yeah,
So I was still I was still working in hazmat. I was still doing weddings on the side and helping you on the side.
yeah.
And then through that, we were even training Michael, my cousin, at the time.
It was quite early on, so it was 2012
Yeah.
when for 2012 or the end of 2011 when I met Kanchan and Rob.
Wow.
And then when I shot Kanchan and Rob's engagement, that's when I met Juhi.
Mm-hmm.
And then I was like, yeah, this is like all
and
the
then
early
Juhi
stages.
was,
And
yeah.
then, yeah, the following year, Juhi got engaged, and then
Mhm.
and then the years just flew by.
Yeah.
And I was like, dang, this is
I remember
this is cool though.
it was very cool.
Yeah.
I remember Sudi and Juhi's wedding because that was the day that I was really handing off. That was really memorable for me because I was handing off my position to Jonathan.
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
it was a crazy ass wedding. Mel was there too, and
Yeah.
Anne was there doing videography, photo films, and they had an elephant and all that shit. So that
Yeah.
shit was crazy. And
It's probably one of the biggest weddings we ever photographed.
yeah, that
Or
was
ever,
It was
actually.
intense.
I think it's the biggest we ever photographed.
And it was all of our friends.
Yeah.
That was so cool. Like
Yeah.
when we used to shoot with Mel and stuff like that. That was pretty fun.
And then knowing, like, photographing, like, Kanchan and Rob, like, throughout the process, you get to know their family.
Yeah.
So when we got to shoot Juhi again, and
Easy.
we just see the same, same familiar faces, and it just felt like we're all like family.
Family.
Yeah,
Yeah.
it's pretty cool.
A little photo family. Yeah, so it's really cool, and you had some really great pictures of the family.
With the journey of business, it's pretty cool to
grow with clients.
grow with clients. Yeah, because I don't know, like you see other businesses and how they interact with the locals. For example, just going into Infinity Surf Shop today in Dana Point, and just all the locals that will drop in, and they're like, "Hey, remember like to Steve?" And Steve is probably
the owner.
Yeah, he was the owner. I mean, he is the owner.
Yeah.
But way back in the day when he first opened, it was like in 19. I don't know the exact year, but it's either in the 70s or 80s or I forget. But
yeah,
they've been there for a while, and people know them. Like,
yeah,
it's pretty cool.
Relationship with people,
that history.
Like, yeah, history.
It's and then when you have a business, like people support you, and
yeah,
you're just
if you can make that connection, and like if people can like you for not only your work, which is always the thing that we're trying to do over here, which it's become so competitive. I feel like we have so much to share on this side and looking on the outside with the wedding industry, the sales part of it, the client part of it, the relations part of it, the working part of it, the business part of it. Like there's so much to share. Like it's crazy how much people don't know, and you have it all in your head. Yeah. And it's like
until you spit it out.
Oh man, you guys don't know.
They don't know
the good and the bad, and the just the cool little facts in between. It's like, whoa.
And people nowadays, like couples nowadays, are different from how couples were.
How they different?
Because style is changing.
Yeah.
Right.
What are the big style ones?
Well, I mean, it's always been candid. We love like how natural. Yeah. The couples look, right?
Yeah.
But then I would say the finishing touches are different.
Okay.
Right.
You mean like the editing?
The editing is a little different. The images you're choosing to showcase to potential couples are different. Yeah. Yeah, it wasn't like laugh out loud, like the girl's on the guy's shoulder and then they do peace signs and crap like that, right? It's all that like very hipster crap, in a way. Oh, okay. It wasn't ever like that, It was like, establishment shot. You got nice venues, stand right in the middle and get the wide.
I think that's still cool.
I mean, it's still cool if you shoot it the right way. Shoot it the right way.
Natural.
Yeah.
Right?
not all like stiffed and like
Yeah.
I'm just here dead center, right? So
yeah, you still have to show emotion.
I feel people are getting it,
Yeah,
that natural, like not looking stiff. It's like taking what we know when we
Yeah.
first started to another level.
yeah.
Yeah. And
Yeah.
we're at another wave, just like coffee. We're another wave.
Yeah.
Yeah.
What
But we
wave would
went
you
through
call
many
this?
waves.
What wave would you call it?
This is like probably okay. Let's
What are the waves?
let's freaking rewind all the way back when we first started.
Okay, what are the waves?
The first wave was Photoshop.
Oh.
You put a layer on top of the photo with like it's like a wrinkly or dust or
Yeah.
whatever, and it gives you this like texture like if it was a canvas,
Yeah.
but it's a digital canvas.
Yeah.
Okay, so that added some, I don't even know, like some mood, or you're trying to get something out of it, right?
What
The
would you
mood,
call that?
it back
Texture?
in the day, yeah, it was texture.
Okay.
It did
Textures.
provide some mood.
Yeah.
So the mood thing was still there, but it
I
wasn't.
say
It wasn't
pop.
refined.
like
yeah,
pop, like what was that Photoshop action, like grungy or make it pop or something? They had weird. Little
I don't
names.
know, but
Yeah, I was like, God, this is gonna take forever.
Yeah.
you gotta put this layer on top of this image,
and you thought
and
about
then
it.
turn down the opacity, like.
Back in the day, we used to deliver like tons, a crap load of photos.
I think we still deliver a lot now.
We
but-
still deliver a lot, but
Yeah.
we refined it, and what we deliver is,
They're actually all good though.
and they're all moments.
Yeah, they're all good moments.
They're just not okay. Let's
Give 2,000.
give
images.
2,000 images
or
and
2,000 moments.
or
yeah.
2,000 repetitive moments.
Yeah, we used
Right.
to do that. Embarrassing.
But yeah, so that's the first wave, and
Yeah.
then I think after that I kind of just stopped following the trend for a long time and just
Yeah.
kind of did my own thing.
Yeah.
But I would see occasionally. I don't know how many waves there are actually, but I would say the second wave would have to be. Oh yeah, no, yeah.
I would say there's 3.
The second wave. Remember, it was Style Me Pretty.
Oh,
Everybody wants a ranch wedding. Right? Ranch
Yeah.
rustic was the
Rustic.
thing.
Yeah, rustic. Light and airy
Yeah.
was a little trend.
Light
on
and
trend.
airy, dark and moody.
Dark and moody was a short ass trend.
Short, very short,
Very short trend.
because it's just too depressing for weddings.
You're like, this is brown.
Yeah. And then now there's whatever that's going on right now. Like I said, it's like adventurous. You're in the middle of nowhere.
Huh.
You're in the nature. You're rock climbing, and there's a big rock behind you, and you're doing a peace sign.
Huh. Is
So
that what's on trend?
It's
right
like
now?
free. It's like feeling free.
Oh, okay.
That's
I wouldn't
what-
know.
That's how I kind of interpret the style right now. Is
Yeah.
it's just looking free and candid
Mm.
with your soulmate.
Oh yeah. I mean, it's always good to look free.
Yeah, it's always
or
good to look free.
natural, I guess. Yeah.
But then now, we did skip another one where it was like more glam.
Yeah.
Yeah, very like
That la-
high end.
That was there for a while.
But it's still, I think it's still there now.
Yeah.
It will always be there because
Yeah.
there's always the high end groups
Yeah.
that just want everything. Just a mix, shit. A mix of stuff.
Okay.
Yeah.
I see. I don't know. It's hard to put a beat on it.
But if you kind of think about these guys I follow, they're great photographers based in Alberta, Canada, two-man studios. Their work is timeless.
Mm-hmm.
Doesn't matter what's going on in the wedding. They get true reactions. They get right in the moment.
Yeah.
But they photograph it in a way that no one can replicate it. Right? And that's the best. That's a true artist right there.
I haven't seen their
Yeah.
work. I guess, yeah. I mean, it's all perspective.
If you can
Everybody
shoot
has
it in a way that's it's truly your style,
Mm-hmm.
and it doesn't look like the rest of everyone else or what everyone else is doing,
Yeah.
and then it will always be timeless.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, I have a question for you. So, what's the difference between style and trend?
So the style and trend. So style is the way you photograph, your perception, the way you direct in the moment.
Does that like mean you always do this pose,
Uh,
this certain pose with the couple?
the pose is really, yeah. I mean, that goes into the style, yeah.
Okay.
Because a trend is, I would say, more how you're decorating your wedding. How the couples is decorating their wedding. That's a trend.
Like how it feels
yeah,
or something?
no, how it feels, the ambiance, the environment, rustic, whatever it is, right? Bohemian. So that's a trend. The other trend is if they want to elope, that's a trend because now they're cutting out like everything. So the immediate feeling when you're photographing that type of wedding, it's shorter.
Yeah.
It's going to have a different feeling because parents are sometimes there, sometimes they're not.
Yeah.
So it can be emotional just between the couple and less emotional with the family. So there's a lot of things that influence it.
Yeah. I should turn this on you.
Boop. The other trend is now based on the photographer. How are they post-processing the images?
Yeah.
So images will look identical with everyone else, right? Until they post-process it. And that's when it will vary. And a lot of photographers that are starting out or seeing the current trend, everyone is having this really orange or brownish preset.
I've been seeing that for a solid year, maybe 2 now, right?
Yeah.
About 2 years now.
But then it's being refined later. I just kind of feel, right? It will never go back to no presets, just edit the image the way it is using Lightroom and modify very simple tweaks. It will never go back to that because now, because our generation is younger than us, already seen what it is. They've seen the transition of wedding photographs, right?
They prefer to filter?
They probably prefer the filter, but they're going to prefer something else later. Some sort of filter. I just don't know what it's going to be later.
It's going to be the Instagram filter.
I hope it's not neon.
They make your eyes all big and your skin all perfect. You know, speaking of social media, like, so we were talking about last show, how you're predicting maybe sort of that.
Well, I've been saying it in previous shows before.
Well, let me say it first.
Okay, say it.
They didn't know what you said.
Okay.
Like that you're saying that, like, say Steven's generation, this is off.
Oh, it's off?
Yeah.
Okay.
Steven's generation is maybe not going to get married as much anymore.
Well, they may get married. I mean, they are going to get married, but probably a lot later in life. Not as soon as like people before us, a generation like 5 years older than us or 10 years older than us. Most of them still kind of follow the same patterns, like our parents that got married about 26, 27, right?
Or younger.
Yeah. But nowadays we're seeing even people in our generation getting married at 32, 30, 33, 34, around that range. Yeah. And that's like a popular like age now. So who knows, like Steven is my brother is 10 years younger than me. I mean 14 years younger than me.
Whoa.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I just think it's going to be more
pushed off.
Even though with the rates of like pregnancy, if they wanted to plan to have a kid, usually I believe it all depends on that as well, if they even care about that.
I don't know now.
Yeah.
I watch a lot of JK News in the meantime, which is just fun news, and they make fun of all these like real stories, right? But so a big story is that, you know, there are all these other countries too, like Japan. They're not having as many children, and even the ethnic people of Japan may like cease to exist because they're not having babies.
Yeah.
And they're very their whole culture is very like nationalistic, so that it's all for the work right now and all that stuff. And then the same thing now happening in America. They're now having this study where it's like more and more children are being had out of wedlock too. So they're not getting married, right?
Yeah.
They're not getting married in order to have children. They're just like, whatever, like, we're gonna have children first if we want to have babies
Yeah.
and the marriage is kind of like to the wayside.
Yeah.
And oh, that brings to mind another thing. So now that I was thinking about that, and I was hearing this all this like last 2 weeks about how people are not really, and you were also saying that people are not really seeing the value in marriage and not really like having that something to be as a part of their like their adulthood, something that they're looking forward to. Like our generation, when I was young and growing up, getting married was something on the list. It's like, I want to get married someday,
Yeah.
and then have children, right? So we come from that traditional background. So nowadays, now that we're in this area, like we're in our 30s, whatever, and we're seeing that new generation, like what have been the benefits of marriage to you? And I would like to talk about like what are the benefits of marriage, because maybe people are just not seeing the benefits of marriage, what
I
and
feel
what they are, and what are the maybe the cons of marriage.
Yeah. Well, I mean, to start off, like our generation, like the friends surrounding us, there's a lot of freaking kids. So I think there's a lot of kids in America that are being born. I think there's a baby boomer coming. I mean, we are the baby boomers to them, aren't we?
I mean, we don't want to have children, so
Yeah.
it's like it's one thing for our generation not to have children, whereas most people in our generation have children.
Yeah.
So with this new like next generation coming through, and maybe they don't see marriage as something, especially with all of like the divorce rates and all that stuff. They're like, maybe that's why too they're not getting married as well.
I would say, well, I really don't know what the divorce rate is right now.
I'll look it up.
Or
what's the divorce rate?
Yeah.
Divorce rate. Yeah, you're saying?
Is it still the same? Has it increased just because there's more population in America? Like it really doesn't make sense. I don't know how
just
that
this
even works.
little thing right here. It says 40 to 50%.
Yeah.
So it's still kind of the same. It's been around at the most. I think it was 60 when we were younger.
Yeah.
There was a lot more. It was a lot more, but the population was smaller.
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean.
But now, like 40. I mean, I hope people nowadays like date the person that they really like. They weren't forced into dating them. They weren't forced into marriage, because there are still, I would say, there's some people out there that would find someone that they believe is a soulmate within a week of traveling to a different country, and then they get married and then it didn't work out.
Yeah.
Right? There's still those type of people out there.
Well, those are outliers.
Yeah.
But I think on a general scope.
I would say nowadays I hope kids are a lot smarter in choosing the person they like, and smarter that they should live with that person prior to getting married, to know if they can actually deal with that person on a daily basis and their habits. And
yeah, I mean, it's much more accepted now, so you would think it would be semi easier, but then in the same vein, like when I hear about people going to Tinder or Bagel Meets Coffee or all these apps, because we didn't meet that way.
Coffee meets bagel.
What did I say? Bagel meets coffee. What the fuck? It's still a weird name. But like we met in a very traditional way, like in college. So if I think about that and how people are dating nowadays, I'm like, whoa, that's kind of scary, or it's kind of weird.
It's different.
It's unfamiliar. It's very unfamiliar.
Yeah, we hear it all the time. I mean, when we first meet our couples, how I always kind of ask, like, yeah, like how did you guys first met? And things like that. A lot of the
compliments, bagel.
But like people. If it's easier that way, whatever your comfort zone. I mean, if you're more introverted, if that works for you, that's great, Well, I just felt back in the day, I was like, I don't like that way, really.
Well, it was kind of stigmatized back in the day too. Like in our day,
that was true.
If you're meeting somebody on an app, you're like, why can't you meet somebody in real life? That was the stigma.
Yeah,
but now
true.
It's so common.
It's common now. But back in the day, like, are you going to meet with a stranger? You don't know how that person looks.
Catfish, that was the whole thing too. Yeah. But yeah. So anyway, getting back to my question, like,
what are the pros and cons to marriage?
Yeah, for one thing, we're seeing this dip in maybe people wanting to get married, right? So maybe we could share.
I don't see the dip within our generation, but
No,
a possibility.
I'm talking about the next. Yeah, you're
Yeah.
talking about the next generation
Yeah.
not wanting to get married, which threatens our business, right? So,
Mhm.
like, maybe we can talk about why that is, and then what have been the benefits. Like, what's the point, right?
Yeah.
I think when we were planning our marriage, and we were really frustrated, like, why do people get married anyway? Like, that's what you said to me. I was like, oh shit. So, I mean, what are the benefits of marriage in your perspective?
Yeah, I mean that's a great question.
So, like,
Well,
why would you want to get married? And I have some thoughts on this, but I'll let you go first.
but yeah, it's more of being committed to one person,
You like the
Um,
idea of being committed.
and because for me, I don't like like for me, my personality is consistency. Like things have to,
Routine.
yeah, routine.
Okay.
Like I don't want to be the person that is always single and like just hopping around. That's just really bad. Anyway, I mean, we have friends that are like that, but
That's cool.
but you know,
Just speak for yourself. Like, yeah, what is it for you and the benefit? What are the benefits for you?
yeah, it's consistency, routine, feeling stable, right? Stable emotionally, also in love and mentally. Also just growing old with you, right? Because the history and like all the past that we went through,
Yeah.
it's the journey.
I didn't even think about that.
It's the journey and the experience of like our love that we evolved together,
Yeah.
right? And the challenges we faced.
Yeah.
Yeah, so it's all that makes you want to seal and put the name to marriage.
Yeah.
Yeah, you want that person, right, to be by your side. Your best friend. You have someone that knows you, your history to how you are presently, your ups and downs.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah.
you know, like because being with you, right, you're able to also predict my train of thoughts,
Yeah.
which is cool.
Yeah.
Because you can help me when making a certain decision on something or whatever it is. You know exactly, oh, okay, I remember this way back in the day.
Yeah.
That, oh, maybe that's not a good idea.
Right.
And
team.
I would also do that for you.
Yeah.
It is a team. It is a team building.
Yeah. That's good point.
It's like two brains, but you see me on the outside, I see you on the outside, right? You know only yourself, right? But other people can catch you from falling.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I see.
And
Yeah, that's nice.
yeah. So that's
what about
how
the cons? Are there any cons to
I would
marriage,
say
why you think maybe some people are maybe averse to it, or maybe not thinking about it, or not thinking.
I would say planning a wedding is probably a hard. Just hire a wedding planner, okay?
Hire a wedding planner.
Yeah.
Hire our friend Hovik.
If the moment you feel a little bit of stress and tension between you and your spouse while planning your wedding, just know a planner will ease all that, and you'll have a better time and a better experience in wanting to get married.
We knew that. Why didn't we do that?
Yeah, we should have done it.
We should have done that.
But that's probably the biggest con for me is
planning a wedding.
Yeah.
What else? What about after? What about past the aisle? What happens after marriage?
There's no con after that.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's mainly the initial of just that was so stressful.
Yeah, that's the time you were like, why are we doing this?
Yeah, but you know, it was so stressful.
It was really stressful.
I was at my peak. I was like, what the heck is going on?
Yeah, I was like, whoa. Yeah, well, okay, maybe we should back off.
At first, I was going to propose and then take you out to Angkor Wat.
Yeah.
A ruin, because during that time we love Uncharted. You loved Uncharted.
I love Uncharted.
I love Uncharted. Like I freaking played the first two. But that's the first two that had Angkor Wat in it.
Yeah.
And I was like, man, this place is cool.
You gotta play 4, man.
It was so gnarly.
Yeah.
If you were to have your wedding in this ruin.
Yeah, that was pretty cool.
And at first, we originally didn't think of getting married in the States. We were just going to elope as
Elope,
well.
yeah, we wanted to
And
elope.
during that time, elope wasn't a big thing.
Yeah.
Yeah, but
Yeah.
everything costs the same. Actually, it doesn't
Yeah.
matter if you're planning a small wedding to a large wedding. It's the same stress.
Yeah.
It's
well,
still there.
stress is same. The cost can be a little bit better. I think we did pretty well.
We
you
did
know?
pretty well, but I would
And we
say,
didn't come out of debt after the wedding too.
yeah,
We were paid off. Everything paid off.
yeah.
That was good.
But for the most part, when you have a large family,
Yeah.
like I had to sacrifice a little because
You did. Yeah.
Yeah.
Because all your family's
my
here.
huge family,
Mine
like,
was like pretty easy. They're like,
Yeah.
we're not there. We're like,
yeah,
cool.
all my family's here, and they weren't able to make it, which I'm okay with. But I'm
Cool.
just saying, my
Yeah.
mom has about 12 siblings,
Yeah.
and I have like 20 to 30 cousins.
And then
And
your
then-
dad.
And dad is the same thing. So you're talking about probably altogether 100 and something people just on my side. So I
Yeah.
wouldn't, you know,
Yeah.
for what we do for a living during that time, wouldn't have afforded it. I'll be in debt.
Yeah.
Yeah, we wouldn't be living in here.
Yeah. 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 Worth it. Worth it. Okay.
So, yeah, those, I would say, wedding planning.
Wedding planning. That's so funny.
So you said the con of marriage. There is no cons when you're married.
Yeah.
Yeah. Because you already made that commitment. You already made the
Ah,
choice.
So if you're making
Yeah.
the choice, right?
Yeah.
That's a big caveat, which I think people who are getting divorced, I don't know. You know, I've never been really pushed to that brink where I'm like, I feel like I want a divorce. I have never felt that yet. I could be really mad or really frustrated, really hurt, but never feeling like I wanted to take that step. That's a pretty hardcore step, right? To say
Yeah.
no to everything.
Yeah.
Because I think in the very beginning, and I think it's blessed that we're in the wedding industry, so we can look on the outside of what other people are saying yes to when they commit, or when they say yes, like what are you really saying yes to? I think a lot of people don't know, especially if you're young,
Yeah.
because we saw some young kids getting married like really young and say they haven't lived together yet, or
It's a
whatever.
huge responsibility.
It
like
is. So you're
you have to kind of
maybe not understanding the weight of when you say yes and what you're
Yeah.
committing to.
there's a
So-
huge weight. I mean, yeah. You absolutely love the person,
Yeah.
right?
But what does that mean?
Yeah.
You know, like,
Are you able to go above and beyond every day if injuries were to happen,
Yeah.
or you know, just to sustain a living together? What like partners are willing to do for each other?
right.
Yeah.
It's so not glamorous too. Like, I mean it can be, but a lot of times I would say not in a bad way too. Like when I'm saying that, it's not bad that it's not glamorous. I think it's real. So like this is the real work that goes into making room for somebody in your life that isn't you. Because as humans, we're very like, you know, we're selfish. We just think about us, honestly. And in order to really consciously make room for somebody else in your life, you have to make room. So that means something of you has to scoot over or compromise or even be eliminated in some ways. Like, you can't just be thinking about you. You have to make space for this person in your life consciously.
And I would say growing up as a single child,
That doesn't help.
it was very hard to.
That's why I say you and I are similar.
Yeah.
Because I have that experience.
We have to push over and then give each other room.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. We
And-
both have that tendency. Thank goodness I have a sister, because even though I have the natural tendency to just think about me.
Yeah.
And that's why I do empathize with you when you're in your world
Yeah.
and you're not really maybe seeing what your actions are doing or how you're saying something, right? Because I know that's how you've grown up. So I have that background information. And then I'm like, yeah, I kind of get that, because I was like that for 8 years until Jenna was born. And then I didn't let Jenna in until she got a little bit older,
Yeah.
right? So we didn't really start becoming really like, we didn't start becoming friends until later.
Yeah, I feel the same way with Steven now. Like, now that he can drive, I think driving, getting over that stage that you're more independent, opens the doors to allow you guys to connect.
Yeah.
Because when you're still stuck in high school, you're stuck. Like,
Yeah.
I don't want to go there. I don't want to pick you up. I'm sorry.
Yeah.
I don't want to go through that damn traffic and then,
Yeah.
listen to your friends talk about bullshit. So, but now
Yeah.
you've got a girlfriend, gain some experience of dating someone.
Yeah.
We can relate somehow in life. And now that you're growing up, you're about to head to college. There's things to kind of teach you along the way.
Yeah.
And see your failures and help you from there. But
Yeah.
and that's where the connections come. But prior to that, yeah, it was just more fun talk. I'll take you out here and there, but there was no solid connection until now. And just like what I've seen in our relationship, we didn't see Jenna for a long time when we first dated until I would say 3 years ago.
Yeah.
Where she came into your life a little bit more, I would say. Yeah.
Well, because she started to work with us.
Yeah. I mean, other than that.
Yeah.
But there was more of a connection.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. It didn't just start from working together. I too wanted to heal my relationship with her because, like so many of my friendships or relationships, I didn't know how to really communicate. I was still very Asian style. Like, I didn't know how to speak. I didn't know how to communicate. I didn't know how to do any of that shit. So I had to really learn in my adulthood how to be a decent human being. And I learned that through like podcasting and making videos and just our relationship, and then like other friends and stuff. And then finally applying it to the most important relationships in my life, are just like my immediate family and you. So yeah, I mean, it's been interesting to say the least. Like for me, if I go back and finish what I was saying was
What's a pro in marriage for you?
Yeah, pros in marriage for me, it to me has always been a personal goal. It's off.
Oh, okay, this is stupid.
It's off. It's too hard. To get married, because I had my first role models are my parents, and they're still together, thank goodness. And I just always see that, and I grew up on Disney movies, and I grew up like on that kind of stuff, and I'm very much a fantasy sort of world. And so I always believed in the idealistic idea of the romantic idea of, you and your partner together. And then when I found out, like, oh, that's not what it is. Yeah. Before you, I was like, wow, that's not what it is. Not everybody treats you the right way.
Yeah.
Of course. And not, you can't just arrive there and then all the good things will come. You must work for it, and you must
castle and everything.
Yeah, you must develop. You must understand, and you must be self-aware and all the stuff, and realize what are the things that you're actually bringing into your life or attracting.
Yeah.
Or so for me, the pro has been being able to like go through a bunch of shit in your life, and then you find somebody who's just as, committed. Mm-hmm. Like, I remember when we first met, we committed to each other very quickly. Yeah. Without much.
But, yeah, like, something like when we first met, I knew you were the one, because we just kind of really gel on the same level.
I think we're similar people, too.
We had similar goals.
Similar goals, similar upbringing in a way.
And you were just down to go to places like before. like let's golf, or let's try this, let's try that. And then you were very active, right? I was like, dude, let's do it. Yeah. It's like, this is perfect.
Surprise. 10 years later.
But it's still cool. You still get to do your surf fishing till now, and I get to still do
whatever you're doing.
Whatever I'm doing over there.
Whatever your current obsession is.
Falling down.
But yeah, so having somebody to be on that same level with you, I think on commitment was very important. And I think what was important too is somebody who challenges you. Mm-hmm. In marriage, I think that's the most important thing. Not to be so compatible that every day is yes, yes, yes.
Yeah.
Like that's boring, I think.
Or
And
stagnant.
sometimes you think that would be ideal, right? Like
Yeah.
say we're in a rough patch or something, or we're arguing, and you're like, why is it hard right now? That's maybe sometime you'll think, oh, I want a boring ass life. But in actuality, when you always get through those rough patches or miscommunications, you're like, I'm so glad that the person that I've decided to say yes to and commit to, and they've said the same thing. So you always have to see that as well. It's not just you going, I said yes to you, I picked you. Actually, it's this person also picked you. Out of all the people, they picked you.
Yeah.
And that's a pretty cool feeling where it's like, oh wow, out of all the people, out of all the combinations, out of all the situations that could have happened, we picked each other.
Yeah.
That's a pretty kind of like mind-blowing thing. And I feel like young people should not take that for granted. If you are maybe like not thinking marriage is not good or something, or like not worth your time or not worth your energy, like I think that's kind of crazy. Out of all the things, out of all the things that could have happened, and especially the shit that I've already been through before I met you, and I was still so young, I was like, wow, after all that, I could still have exactly what I think I deserve in life, which is a good life, right? Everybody wants to live a good life. So,
but I feel now that you shared all that, right?
Yeah.
I feel that the kids really don't know what marriage is like. Yeah.
And you know that too. Okay, so that brings to mind too. Like my other point is 12:45. I have a meeting at 1. So after all that, you've maybe found somebody. I think it's so cool too that we had the ability to grow together, because I think maybe people grow apart. Nothing wrong with that. Like say you just grew apart or whatever.
Yeah.
I mean, I don't know. Can you really grow apart when the first thing that you said was yes, and you committed to each other and all that stuff? Can you really grow apart? Or did you not try?
Yeah.
Or maybe you felt the other person wasn't trying, so you felt, I'm not going to try if you don't try. And then you were this weird sort of thing, which I know that we've felt that from time to time.
Yeah.
Where it's like, if you don't want to be here, I don't want to be here. Like that kind of thing, right?
Yeah.
So, like, is that really true that you fell out of love, or you grew apart? Or did you just simply choose, again, day after day, or maybe in really multiple little moments, I choose not to try right now. I choose not to. Or you walked away. Or you said, or you weren't forgiving. Like, because if I were to think about all the times where we were at breaking points, it was really hard. And I was like, I could choose to keep saying no, or like, no, I don't want to hear it. I don't want to talk about it right now. I don't want to, like that. If I kept doing that, then we could grow apart. Right? And vice versa. Or we could say that for a number of times, and maybe on the 11th time, I'm like, that's okay. Like let's move on, or let's talk about it, or let's work together. And then so being able to do that with somebody else, somebody who's willing to say when you are quitting, somebody else is not quitting. Like that's pretty crazy too, that sometimes, and we will switch roles, and I think that's so important, that when you're not strong enough to lead in your relationship, that the other person can muster a little bit of strength, 1% more than you, but then it's holding you two together. You know, like in those tough moments where people say, oh, I just fell out of love, or we just grew apart. I don't know if I really believe. Well,
you really don't know what their story is anyway,
I don't know that either. But like, if I would say, like, you know, again, like I've never thought of divorcing or anything like that. But I would think, well, maybe there's all these. Well, what comes to that? Somebody just doesn't go, I want a divorce. No, there's a lot of little moments that tell you, I don't think this is right for me. But like, what did you not contribute, or what was your part to play in that? Because it's always two-way street, right? It can't just be, unless it's a very drastic, crazy ass situation where somebody's beating the shit out of you. You know, but like, if I'm talking about normal relationships and what happens on a, say, day-to-day basis.
Yeah, I say, I mean, really gotta know the person you're gonna be with.
Yeah. But in the same vein too,
Yeah.
I didn't really know you until I feel like last year. Because so this is why I say it's a two-way street. Like, if I did not ask, or if I did not open the door, you would not feel safe to tell me, or whatever. So that's, I don't know. I think to love somebody in the way that we do, it's always a choice. You can always say, do I want to participate in my marriage or no?
Yeah.
You always make that choice in everything that you do. Like, whether you wake up in the morning and do you kiss your partner on the cheek, or do you just ignore them and go do your thing?
Yeah.
And you could continue to do that every single day, or you could interrupt that and choose to love your partner or to show love.
Yeah.
And then that transfers into everything that you do in your relationship. So I don't know. I think love is like, it's not a feeling. I think it's a choice. It's like, every day you choose, I choose you. And then it's a miracle that the other person on the other side is also choosing you, and all of your flaws and all of your fuck ups and your craziness and all that stuff, or problems.
Yeah.
And so I think if you can find that,
it's also great. Is that the person that you choose, they love themselves first.
Yes.
Yeah. So when they feel like they love themselves, they open up to another person, and that person feels the energy that this person appreciates themselves.
Right.
And I love that person, that they love their life.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like they're worthy, because they see that they're worthy.
Yeah.
So I feel safe to give my life.
Yeah, and you want to strive in life. You don't want to be a failure in life.
Yeah.
Yeah, and that's what the other person is seeing.
Yeah.
But if you were someone that, all right, I'm giving up. So I'm giving up in all choices. Right? Anything that you throw at me,
but it'll happen like that.
Yeah, I'll say no.
Little domino effect, and like all of a sudden you're like, whoa, who am I? Oh, I grew apart. I'm like, I don't know if I believe that. I think one day, for some reason, maybe you were too hurt, or you were too shut off, or too trained in your mind to think that this person doesn't care.
Yeah.
Now you're not saying anything, because I've been there, and you're like, oh, they don't care. They're not going to change. So for yourself, you made yourself, kind of be in that position, and then you made up their mind for them almost.
Yeah.
And now you quit and you don't love. So it's like,
But yeah, it's good that you find someone that is able to make their own decisions on their own.
Yeah.
When it comes to a non-partner decision, so you will feel more comfortable with that person. I don't know where the hell I'm going, but
you're talking about like trust, right?
Yeah. Well, can I
trust you?
No, like you're a strong enough person to make your own damn decision, right?
That's something I said to you.
But
in the same vein, sometimes you want to be able to know that even when you're not strong enough, that your partner will not be like, you fucking idiot. No, they'll be like, that's all right. Like, let's just move on together, right?
Yeah.
Like, that's a big deal. Versus thinking, not even knowing, but thinking that your partner will not support you.
Yeah.
And you don't trust them to support you. Like, we've been down that road. And because you get inside your mind and you don't feel comfortable enough to like say or ask for support, and you say you feel it's weak to ask, or I feel weak asking, or vulnerable asking. It's like, well, you should be able to do that with your partner, with your husband, or with your wife, which is something that we are coming out of, and I feel like I say that more often now because. Like, you just need to. Not because you need to be told, but sometimes we all need to be reminded that it's okay. I'm here for you. Like, oh, thank God.
Yeah.
I want to hear it. People want to hear it no matter what your love language is. I think it always helps to hear the words. The real words. Hey, I'm here for you. Okay? Like, oh, okay, cool. And maybe they won't even go to you for something, but to know it, to hear it, it's like a blanket. Like, oh, cool. Thank you.
Yep.
Okay. I have to go now, so thank you guys for joining us here on Pass.
Thank you guys for tuning in.
That was a very good marriage episode.
Yeah, that was quite strong.
Thank you, B, for joining me. How
Thank
do
you,
you
T.
feel about the Star Wars vibe going on in here?
Yeah, it's good. I'm
You like it
fine
here?
wherever. Yeah.
Okay. I'm trying to find like just a studio location so I don't
Yeah.
have to stress out every time 5 minutes before the show, like where's it gonna be and how's it look. So
All right, guys. We'll see you next Thursday.
yeah, next Thursday.
Yeah.
Later. Oh, before we go, we're also on some Stitcher, Spotify, Apple,
iTunes.
iTunes. Yeah, iTunes. I keep saying Apple. iTunes podcast. It's just the audio version, but you can always find the video version on YouTube, and it's at Past the Aisle. And then you can also find us on Instagram at the Levues, and then at Kevin Levu. Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
All right.
All right. See you later.
Bye, guys.
Bye. Stop.